Hey, this is Market Moves coming at you, and NIO just released earnings. The stock is down about 22% after that, and they are catastrophic. We're going to go over the numbers and the insights and everything in the earnings report to let you know what's happening with the stock's future. Stay tuned. So the first thing I want to do is I want to head to the NIO chart. I want to let you know what this stock has been doing and why we were so bullish on it in my option premium group. So basically, NIO was in this tight range from about 820 all the way down to 580. So this is a very tight range. And we finally gapped up and broke out of this range right here. So as you can see, the green candle right here was the gap up and the breakout. It looked so good. It looked like this stock was going to go back to $14 very, very quickly. But we had earnings that were coming up this week. So basically what happened is you're gambling. Every time earnings comes out, you're gambling when you're holding a stock or an option if you're trading it. If you're holding it long term, if you believe in the company, you're fine to hold it through all the earnings cycles. But basically this gap up was very bullish, gave us plenty of potential to hop to that $14 range, especially with the trade war tensions easing. But right now we gapped back into the range after earnings, a huge gap down of 20-some%, and even today we're gapping lower on top of that gap before. So multiple gap downs. This is very violent for the stock, and this does not look good for NIO. So there's something in the earnings reports that kind of gives us clues as to why it's gapping down, what the news was, what the numbers in the future are to be projected at, and everything. So I'm going to go over that today, let you know. But FYI, if we break out of the 580 level, it is bad news for NIO. This is going to be a stock that could be worth $2, $3 one day. Who knows? But this is the earnings report right here on sec.gov. So this is my website. I head to it every time for a US-based stock earnings report. They release them almost instantly on this site, and it's very good to get on it and just check it out right away. So if you don't know about NIO as a company, in general, they're an electric car company that is in China. The market there is huge, the demand is huge, and for some reason they did not deliver on the numbers that I'm going to go through. So it's super shocking to see them fail in such a great market, especially because Tesla cannot get those vehicles out there at a good price. And with the tariffs possibly coming out, it's going to affect Tesla and their margins. So NIO is the savior out there, and we want to see them really penetrate this market and sell and deliver a lot of cars. So production highlights in the fiscal year for the fourth quarter of 2018, so this is last year still, we had production of ES8 totaling 4,000. So they sold almost all those cars in deliveries. So from that 8,000, they pretty much sold them all. So they sold about 7,900 of those cars, and those were in deliveries, so that's great. And we also see for the whole year we had about 12,000. So that's a pretty good number in my opinion, especially because in the previous quarter we had 4,000. So it looks like they made and delivered all their cars within 2 quarters. So for some reason that is not bad news, and the stock is down terribly. So we got to dive into this, see what the bad news actually is. And quarter over quarter change is a 100% increase in E8 production and 144% increase in deliveries for the ES8. So I don't know what their other cars are doing, but the ES8 is doing pretty well. So obviously if their deliveries are up 140%, their sales should be up around that number, which they were. We had revenue up 133% from Q3 2018. So we're bringing in almost $500 million. That's pretty impressive. That brings the price to sales of this company to about 16. So its market cap is at $8 billion. And if we divide that by the revenue, it's going to give us 16 for the price to sales. So pretty cheap. We have Amazon coming in at about 80 to 100, and a lot of the pot stocks well over 100. So 16 is a very reasonable price to sales, but that's not the best metric, especially if they're losing a lot of money sometimes. And down here you can see they lost about $503 million for Q4, and this is only a 24% increase from the prior quarter. So we have sales increasing 130%, and we also have the net loss increasing less than that. So they're losing less money, sales is increasing. That's a good ratio, a good mix right there. And we also have vehicle margins. They were positive 3.7 compared to negative of 4.3. So the margins are increasing on the cars. Obviously 3.7 is kind of pathetic, and negative margins are kind of pathetic too. So we want to see that get to the 20-30% range. That is a company that has a great moat and a great structure to protect itself from other companies coming into their market and taking their market share. So if they want to protect their market share, they need a moat, and their moat is kind of based off the margins. If their margins are high, it shows they have a moat. That's kind of Warren Buffett's philosophy with that. So those are the bullish numbers. Obviously, there's some negative things we're going to get into, so those are the next ones coming up right now. But the deliveries, I just want to point this out again, were about 8,000 for Q4, 3,000 for Q3, and then here's what's happening in 2019. So deliveries for the ES8 for January and February were about, together, let's say 2,600. So 2,600 for 2 months. We still have one more month to tack onto this to give us a Q1 number for 2019. But basically this puts us back down in that Q3 range of 2018. So Q3 2018, we delivered about 3,200 cars, and we are just slightly under that with one more month to deliver cars in March. So that's going to give us maybe 600 to 800 cars, but it's not anywhere close to Q4's number of almost 8,000 cars. So we're cutting that in half. We're down almost 50% from the cars delivered this quarter, and this is the bearish news that just came out. I think this is the biggest reason why everyone is selling this stock, is because this slowdown was greater than anticipated. So we might have known this going into it, but now that the numbers come out, everyone starts freaking out because these are very low, and this is a big drop off from last quarter, and the market does not like to be shocked. So now what they're doing is they're shocking the market by throwing out these new numbers and projections for this year. So this sequential slowdown in vehicle deliveries in January and February was mainly caused by accelerated deliveries made at the end of last year. So this is what's expected though. If there's a lot of demand, they'll accelerate it in one quarter, and then the next quarter might not look so good. But you want to look at the average. So the average for the last 3 quarters is still around 4,000 cars per quarter, maybe even 4,500. So average it out. That's not that bad. And if they can slowly keep increasing that, then I don't think this company deserves to be sold off as aggressively as it is. So the one thing that I did hear is that the manufacturing plant, this was expected to be finished this year. And now the newest news is that the company has agreed in principle with the contractual counterparty to terminate the plan for this manufacturing plan. So the one thing a lot of people don't like about NIO is that they don't manufacture their own cars. They don't have a manufacturing plant, and they are just terminating their new agreement to build it. So pending signing of definite termination agreement. So if they sign this, it's over. They don't have this plant that it's been in the plans for, and this is going to give them more margins, more money, and it's better for the company if they have their own plant. So this is another set of terrible news. This is more bad in my opinion compared to the numbers. I don't think the numbers are terrible, but the fact that they're not going to be manufacturing or even getting the plant out here is the worst news so far. So I don't know what else is in this article, but this is the worst news right here in this page in the recent developments. So far this year, NIO is striking out, and we're going to go through the rest of the article trying to find any hints of good or bad. And basically, I'm unbiased. I don't like this company or hate this company. I just like checking them out and understanding these companies and educating you in them as well. So this is from the CEO and the CFO. These are their comments on the company. It's very important that you know what they're saying, what they're thinking about the future of the company. So basically, they have the best insight. It's really, you have to have your ears open whenever you see them or hear them talking. So what they said is that in 2018, I'm just going to sum up the first two articles, is that they crushed it. They beat their revenue estimate, they delivered cars, and they had their NYSE listing on the New York Stock Exchange. So that listing was huge, and then they beat the revenue for that whole year. But it seems like that they pushed all the sales into the last quarter so they could do that. So they pushed all those sales into Q4, and now Q1 of 2019 is suffering because of that. So it looks like on paper they wanted to win in the short term, but this year it's really showing that that win last year is affecting this year. So we want to see what's happening this year. This is the next paragraph talking about 2019. So this is the more important one in my opinion. So this comment we don't really see anywhere else in this report. So this one is a big one for me. So the CEO says we expect deliveries in second quarter 2019 to reflect continued weakness as we wait for results of 2019 EV subsidy policy. So they're waiting on the policy from China. This is going to affect their results for Q2 2019. So I think this company is set up to be a home run 10 years from now, but we may get some great pullbacks in this company this year. So I'm kind of excited to buy those. I think this company has a ton of potential, and just the fact that they went from 0 to 11,000 cars without a factory is pretty big. And we just want to see their debt be manageable, and we want to see those numbers pick up next year, hopefully. So this year is going to be crap, apparently. And we also have macroeconomic factors. Obviously, we got U.S. trade tensions with China. And on the positive side, we have witnessed strong increase in the ES6. So this is their luxury brand car. This is different than the ES8. That is more of a consumer friendly car that is easier and cheaper to purchase. So the ES8, very reasonable for everyone, but the ES6 gives them a little bit more money and margins, and it does give them more profit. So ES6 does have more luxury. It's a higher end car. They're seeing better demand for that. So that's a bullish reason for this stock this year. And if they get more cars out with more demand, this is going to be exciting to get into. But the car industry in general has terrible margins, and they do not get great valuations. So in general, I do not think the car industry is going to be exciting, but I want to see the electric car industry kind of surpass that expectation and get different valuations. So if they continue to do that, then I am excited about NIO long term, and I am excited to invest in it, because if it gets a multiple like Tesla, this is going to be an exciting company to own. So again, this is all I got. This is NIO's earnings report, and I hope this updated you on the company and the overall outlook for the future. Please hit that subscribe button. Yet again, I put out content every day, so please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And please share this video with someone who might like NIO or just investing in general. I would greatly appreciate that too. Market Moves signing off. Peace. For more information on the Market Mover Indicator, free consultation talks, and courses, head to the website marketmovesmat.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out the latest and popular videos I have uploaded.